Chapter 2 of Vairagya Shatakam by Bhartrhari, translated by Swami Madhavananda. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Uday Sagar. Futile efforts to give up sense objects. 11. I do not find the virtuous distinction produced by ceremonial observances through life after life to be conducive to well-being, for the sum of such virtuous merits, when weighed in mind, inspires fear in me. Enjoyments earned by great accession of merit multiply so greatly in the case of people attached to them, only to bring them misery and peril. Vipakaha punyanam. The idea is to show the futility of good deeds performed in our earthly life, with the object of enjoying happiness in heaven or higher lokas, for the heavenly enjoyments are transitory, as being the result produced by our virtuous merits. When the force of these merits is spent, the enjoyments must cease, and the soul will again be drawn back to the cycle of births and deaths, until by jnana or spiritual illumination it attains moksha or final release from the wheel of transmigration. Vyasanamiva dhatum. It indicates that the enjoyment of pleasures in heavens binds still more fetters on us by increasing our thirst, and hence is the cause of an added volume of miseries. Avashyam yatarash chiratara mushitvapi vishaya वियोगे खो वेदस्त्यजति सजनो यत्स्वयममून् व्रजन्तः स्वातन्त्र्यादतुल परितापाय मनसः स्वयं त्यक्ता ये तेषम सुखमनन्तं विदधति. 12. The objects of enjoyment, even after staying with us for a long time, are sure to leave us some time. Then what difference does their privation in this way make to men, that they do not of their own accord discard them? If the enjoyments leave us on their own initiative, that is, if they tear themselves from us, they produce great affliction of the mind. But if men voluntarily renounce them, they conduce to the eternal bliss of self-possession. Brahma jnana vivekino maladiyaha kurvantyaho dushkaram yanmunchantyupaboga banjapi धनान्ये कांततो निस्पृहाः संप्राप्तानि पुरा न संप्रति न च प्राप्तौ दृढप्रत्ययान् वाञ्छामात्र परिग्रहाण्यपि परं त्यक्तुं न शक्ता वयम्. 13. Ah, it must be indeed a difficult feat which persons with their minds purified by the discrimination arising from the knowledge of Brahman accomplish in that, free from desire, they wholly discard that wealth which has been actually bringing them enjoyment, whereas we fail to renounce enjoyments which are reaped by us as mere longings and which we never did realize in the past, nor do we realize now, nor can we count upon as lasting when obtained in future. Dhanyanam girikandareshu vasatam jyotihi param dhyayata manandashru jalam pibanti shakuna nishankamam keshayah अस्माकं तु मनोरथोपरचित प्रसादा वापी तट क्रीडा कानन खेलि कौतुक जुषा मायुः परम क्षीयते. 14. Blessed are those who live in mountain caves, meditating on Brahman, the supreme light, while birds devoid of fear perch on their laps and drink the teardrops of bliss that they shed in meditation, while our life is fast ebbing away in the excitement of revelry in palatial mansions, or on the banks of refreshing pools, or in the pleasant gardens, all created and brooded over merely by imagination. Shakuna nishankamam keshayah. The birds have approached them fearlessly because they have reached the state of tranquility and harmlessness, realizing the oneness of life. Bhikshashanam tadapi neerasamekavaram shayya cha bhuh parijano nijadeha matram vastram vishirna shatakhandamayi chakanda ha ha tadapi vishaya na jahati chetah. 15. For food I have what begging brings, and that too tasteless and once a day. For bed the earth, and for attendant the body itself. For dress I have a worn-out blanket made up of 100 patches, and still, alas, the desires do not leave me. स्तनौ मांसग्रन्थि कनककलशा विद्युपमितौ मुखं श्लेष्मागारं तदपि च शशाङ्केन तुलितं श्रवन्मूत्रक्लिन्नं करिवरशिरः स्पर्धिजगनं मुहुर्निन्द्यं रूपं कविजन विशेषैर्गुरुकृतं 16. Mamsagrandhi, lumps of flesh, jewel number. Kanaka Kalasha Vityupamitau, become golden jugs in poet's comparison. Shleshma Garam, seat of phlegm, saliva, etc. Shashankena Tulitam is compared to the moon. Karivara Shiraha Spardhi, claiming likeness with the elephant's forehead. Mahur Nindyam Rupam, form deserving constant contempt, has been magnified in praise by certain poets. एको रागिषु राजते प्रियतमा देहार्दधारी हरो नीरागेषु जनो विमुक्त ललनासंगो न यस्मात् परः दुर्वारस्मरबाणपन्नग विषव्याविद्धमुग्धो जनः शेषः कामविडम्बितान् विषयान् भोक्तुं न मोक्तुं क्षमः. 17. Among sensual persons, Shiva is unique, sharing half his body with his beloved, and again, among the dispassionate, there is none superior to him, and attached to the company of women, while the rest of mankind, smitten and stupefied by the irresistible, serpent-like, poisoned arrows of Cupid, and brought under the infatuation of love, can neither enjoy their desires nor renounce them at will. Priyatama Dehardhari. This refers to the symbolic representation of Shiva and Gauri in a single divided form. On one side grows the hair in long and black curls, and on the other corded like rope. One side is white with ashes, like the snow mountains, the other golden as the light of the dawn. For he, the Lord, took a form, and that was a divided form, half woman and half man. Bhoktum namuktam kshamaha. Ordinary persons, when they give themselves up to the enjoyments, lose all control and become slaves to them. So, even when satiety comes, they cannot detach themselves from them, as the force of blind attachment has enslaved them. But Shiva, who has subdued his mind, is unaffected by them, as in a state of mental poise of yoga, pleasure and pain are the same to him. Ajanandahatmyam patatu shalabho deepadahane samino nadbadisha yutamashnaatu pishitam vijanantopyeta vayamiha vipajja lajatilan namunchamaha kama nahaha gahano moha mahima. 18. Without knowing its burning power, the insect jumps into the glowing fire. The fish, through ignorance, eats the bait attached to the hook. Whereas we, even though having full discernment, do not renounce the sensual desires, complicated as they are with manifold dangers. Alas, how inscrutable is the power of delusion! Trusha shushyatyaasye pibati salilam shita maduram kshudartaha shalyannam kabalayati mamsadikalitam pradipte kamagnau sudhrudatara malingati vadum pratikaram yadeh sukamiti viparyasyati janaha. 19. When the mouth is parched with thirst, man takes some cold, refreshing or sweetened drink. When suffering from hunger, he swallows boiled rice, made delicious with meat and the like. When set on fire by lust, he fast embraces his wife. So, happiness is but remedying these diseases of hunger, thirst and lust. And behold, how man, that is his sense, is upset in its quest. Pratikaram vyadeha sukhamiti. The main point to be understood is that worldly happiness is but the temporary remedy we constantly seek for all the diseases with which worldly life is beset. When this relative and fugitive nature of happiness becomes apparent to us, we naturally give up running after it to seek permanent peace in renunciation. Tungam veshmasutaha satam abhimataha sankhyatigah sampadaha kalyani daitavayascha navamitya jnana mudho janaha matva vishvamanashvaram nivishate samsara karagruhe sandrushya kshanabhanguram tadakilam danyastu sanyasyati. 20. Possessed of tall mansions, of sons esteemed by the learned, of untold wealth, of a beloved wife of beneficence, and of youthful age, and thinking this world to be permanent, Men, deluded by ignorance, run into this prison house of worldliness, whereas blessed indeed is he who, considering the impermanence of the same world, renounces it. End of chapter 2. Futile efforts to give up sense objects. Recording by Uday Sagar.